Hi, I'm Duncan, Crabtree-Ireland, SAG-AFTRA's National Executive Director and Chief Negotiator, and welcome to Take 5. I'm joined today by Ray Rodriguez, our Chief Contracts Officer, to walk us through the AI terms in our contracts that protect voiceover performers.
Hi, Duncan.
Hey, Ray. Before we dive into SAG-AFTRA's efforts to create AI safeguards for performers' voices, let's talk about why voice is getting so much attention in the AI space. What is it that makes it such a critical focus at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's because the technology for replicating voice using AI is more advanced. It's an easier task to perform from a technological perspective, and so the AI tools are more developed when it comes to replicating voice.
Yeah, the tech has just gotten there faster. So, Ray, then what areas of our members' work do you think are most heavily impacted by this galloping pace of AI voice technology development?
Yeah, I think one of the areas that we have been most concerned about over the past couple of years has been the area of video game voiceover, where this is a completely digital environment. There are many voices being recorded, a lot of temptation to want to use AI technology in that area. And so we spent 2 years and a strike working very hard to set baseline protections in the area of video games. Thank goodness we were successful in doing that.
Yeah, and shout out to the committee, to the members, to everybody, the allies who were on those picket lines and fighting that fight with us.
Yeah, so video games is one area, and we've we've taken steps there. Another area people might want to think about is dubbing. We know that the dubbing AI tools are already out there, and that some of them are good enough to use. The silver lining there is that one of the best technologies out there in the world of dubbing is the flawless technology, where the voice actor's work is preserved because the technology adjusts the mouth movements of the on-camera performer rather than substituting a new voice. And so the voice actor gets to keep their job. The on-camera performer looks natural, speaking the actual authentic script under which they originally recorded, and the end product looks better. So there's a threat there, but there's also reasons for hope as that technology rolls out.
Yeah, that's like the perfect example of augmentation rather than replacement, something we've been talking a lot about, which is, let's have AI technology help create a better result, not displace people, replace performers, or eliminate the human creative spark and element from all of these projects. So each contract that we have with AI protections is a little bit different. There's been the evolution over time. Ray, what would you say are some of the basic protections that run throughout all of our contracts? And what are some of the differentiations that have been tailored for specific different types of VO work?
It really starts when you're notified about the job, because you need to get 48 hours notice if any of the work that you're going to do is going to be used to generate an AI replica. And so you have the ability right away to know if that's something you want to do. Even once you've done the work and they want to use an AI replica of you, they cannot do that unless you first agree to a reasonably specific description of how that voice replica is going to be used. So we really want to try to replicate as much as possible the kind of control that you have when you're working as a flesh and blood person in a booth. So you will get to know what your AI replica is going to do. And there are also basic terms around compensation, so that you are being compensated in the same way that you would be if you were doing the work in person. So at every step, we've tried to establish the baseline protections along the same lines that we have in our contracts for people who are working in real life.
Yeah, so the informed consent, the fair compensation, those really run through all of our contracts, even as they evolve, and there are nuances, of course, for different contract areas and so forth, but that's crucial. Now, I think we know that not every performer wants to work in the AI space, but for those who do, we've been meeting with tech companies who work specifically in the AI voice space to develop protective agreements. And Ray, I'd love your thoughts on why it's so important to collaborate with emerging businesses in this space.
Yeah, look, we know from the history of how technology has impacted our industry that there's no rewind button. Once the technology is out there, once it's available and in the market, people are going to use it. There's no option to take it back. There's no unringing the bell. But what we can do is work collaboratively with the technology providers and with our employers in order to ensure that there are fair and protective rules of the road for our members when this technology does impact their work, and reaching out to these companies and making sure that we remain current about where the developments are and who's doing the work are critical to that effort.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to block the technology and disengage didn't work with automobiles, electricity, the printing press, the internet, VCRs, and yeah, we have no reason to think it would work here as opposed to a strategy of really using influence to channel it in a better direction. Ray, thanks so much for helping us understand how our contracts are keeping pace with AI, especially when it comes to protecting our members' voices. And to everyone watching this, please learn more about AI protections in our contracts. You can visit sagaftra.org/AI for in-depth information on commercials, animation, interactive, sound recordings, and more.